So do you want to talk about the start of the LCS? We do have to put the capstone on our LCS player walkout project, which took 3 episodes with 3 different guests. Because now, Thorin, we've seen the aftermath, which is collapsing viewership of the
TK
LCS.
viewership. If people don't know, I think LEC just had like 250 or something like that. Some 200k is what they're at. Like, I actually bet if I go and look, I haven't looked, but I'm going to guess like LFL's probably has the same as fucking LCS now, Monty. It has to, surely. You know what I mean? Like, this is so bad. This is why I made that point. They couldn't have picked a worse time to do this. They picked a time when their stock was at the lowest possible, and then they fucking threatened the league like this. And also, by the way, it's bad enough that fans didn't watch Academy and they wanted it around. How are we going to justify the salaries in LCS if it's 40k viewership? We can't. It's over if that's the case. It's actually over.
Yeah, I mean, it's really quite.
Future is the 40k viewership. That can't happen, mate.
Yeah, it's really quite bad. So, and I think a lot of it was, at least on the initial day, that people didn't know that LCS was going on because of the walkout. It started on a Wednesday, which I guess
the walkout then. Yeah, thanks for not making it the original start of the season when we were all waiting. Cheers, guys. You did that.
So they didn't know when the walkout was going to end. A lot of people responded to me on Twitter saying that they were surprised to see that LCS was on. Part of that is just messaging from the league, though, and the LoL Esports website, as we know, has been terrible for a long time and is basically useless in a lot of ways when it comes to understanding the matches or watching VODs on them. But LCS, out of 3 leagues, so CB, LoL, LEC, and LCS, had the lowest, or had the biggest drop in viewership, and the average viewers dropped by 47% compared to the first week of the spring season. Summer is typically lower, guys, so it's better to compare summer to summer than summer to spring, but this is from ES Charts in their news article. And peak viewers decreased by 40%. So CB LoL also saw a drop by 27%, and we saw LEC drop by 17% in average viewers compared to the first week of the spring season. But again, we expect that in summer for it to be slightly lower. Now, the real issue is year over year from summer. So 77,000 peak viewers on the first match of summer. Okay, guys, this time. Last summer, it was 118,000. Summer before that was 222,000. So we are literally talking about from 2021 to 2023 on the first day, a drop of 2/3 of peak viewers. And that includes co-streamers, guys. Before you guys are like, oh, well, what about the co-streamers? That includes co-streamers. 77,000 peak, including co-streamers. I saw the main Twitch channel at like 30,000 viewers.
There's another angle people aren't thinking about. You know, when I've begged Ellis, I know you've done this as well, mate. I've begged him to drop LCS and told him, bro, like, you're having to take these mental health breaks. It's wearing you out. Like, at this point, if 40k is for everyone or 70k is for everyone, I doubt he's even getting that much on his core stream if he does. I mean, I know he's ill at the moment in a way, but like, how can Dom and LS justify watching the league if they're getting barely anything, you know? Everyone needs the viewership, guys. Everyone.
Well, I think for Dom, I mean, he had 8,000 viewers on his stream, so his stream's doing fine. He's just a larger percentage of the total viewership. So I think, if anything, a lot of viewers are actually just going over to co-streamers as opposed to watching the main channel at this point in time.
Problem with that is, even though I do like it, you know this, that you can't really be like, lol, fuck LCS. Like, if the mainstream doesn't get enough views, it's just over as a league. Like, there'll be no core stream at that point in time. That's the problem. So I like it for Dom, but that's to be a future for the league.
Yeah, I mean, it really isn't good. And I do think, as I said, part of it was that people didn't know it was happening. But even if you look at the entire weekend, it was not it was not a smashing success by any means.
By the way,
right?
am I missing something? Why is everyone so incompetent in esports, right? If me and you, Monty, say I said to you, so today is obviously Wednesday, right? If I said to you, by Friday, we need to get a certain piece of info in front of everyone's eyes, we could easily do it in that time frame, that runway. We would do something like we do a giveaway that you have to retweet and tag 4 friends on, and you win like a subscription or something. Then we'd also do things like we'd pay for advertising on Instagram, targeted ads and Facebook. Then we'd actually pay to be in the ad roll of this. We get a bunch of streamers like Dom and LS, and we'd say, want you to do this ad or spoken at the beginning of your... These are all things that wouldn't even cost mega money. It's like, it'd maybe be like 5, 10k, but you would get the massive potential viewership. You'd be like, the LCS is back. The walkout's over. It's coming. They didn't do any of that. They just sat back and were like, Where is everyone? Like the John Travolta walking in like Pulp Fiction, like.
Here's the other thing they could do, Thorin, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show Riot how to do this right now. Are you ready, guys? Okay, so you understand that Last Free Nation is part of a larger network, right, of various shows. So here's how you do it. So, guys, we have a CSGO channel. If you guys are Counter-Strike fans, guess what? We released another Snake and Banter this week. There's another Hot Take Point Made coming out soon. If you guys like those shows, we're starting to release those again. So come on over. And guess what? We launched a new channel, Last Free Nation Culture on YouTube, LFN Culture on Twitter, Last Free Nation Culture on TikTok, Instagram. You guys can check those out. What's on that channel? Well, Doe and I just started our new show, Nerd Legion, where every week we're going through sci-fi and fantasy TV and films. We did Star Trek Strange New Worlds last week. This coming week, we're going to do Black Mirror Secret Invasion and the latest episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, where we kind of joke and discuss about these shows. Lots of you have seen it already. Thanks for all the subscribers over there. But head on over to Last Free Nation Culture and check out our first non-esports content and support that if you guys want to see more of it. It's already out for your viewing pleasure. So drop a comment, like, subscribe, everything like that. So you see what I just did there, Thorin. Now remember that LCK and LPL were running, and they didn't use LCK and LPL to announce any changes about LCS.
They're not even trying. It's like I say, they just aren't trying. The problem with Riot has always been, this is something we didn't address during the LCS walkout thing, actually, to be fair, Monty. Richard always says about the team owners, and I agree, because they can only understand esports through the model of the NFL, essentially. But Riot's even worse. Riot has played their game on easy mode forever, and then when times get hard, they're like, what? I have to like do something and be innovative and actually push the back. Yeah, it's not fucking 2012 anymore, dickhead. You don't have 10 times more viewer than every other game. You don't have it like that. So actually, yeah, you've got to actually be creative. You've got to have a street team that hits the bricks and starts telling people about stuff and gets a buzz going. I'd have even been doing a thing, no joke. I might even have done this, Monty, just because it's a classic thing you do to swag. I might have done that thing where you take out like a massive thing in fucking Times Square where it's like, LCS is back, the walkout's over, check out Doublelift and all your favorites. I might even do that just for like, the gesture of showing like, hey, fucking esports, but I might even do that. Like, why not? Why not celebrate it? That could be cool, right? We reached an agreement. I mean, the agreement was just shut the fuck up and play. But yeah, we reached the agreement. Shut up and dribble, bitch. Basically, yeah, they did, and indeed they did. Indeed they did dribble. In this case, they dribbled a bit more than they played League of Legends, if you get my meaning. Because, mate, I'll tell you right now, I don't know how much of LEC you've watched. The West has never been worse at League of Legends since about season 4, mate. This is really dire. LEC is dog shit. It is like G2 is just on easy mode, and even they threw away a game with that stupid Nico thing where they were just trying to do some troll shit. And LCS is fucking terrible, mate. These games, forget flip a coin. It's more like just fucking throw a bunch of shit on the floor and then just pick up one thing. All right, that you win. There was everyone was loving it. I saw everyone Reddit was like reveling in all the upsets. Like, do you know how bad it is for the league when big rosters completely fail? Do you know how bad it is when the whack rosters just win games inexplicably? And even worse, this is how I know on the LCS walkout thing that none of these fans do support the players, Monty. The teams that hella cynically fired coaching staff and put in assistants and side people, and then fired the biggest star players and MVPs and put in bums from academy, when they win games, you celebrate. You don't even like them. They'll never be at Worlds. You'll never watch them. If you celebrate that, you are just the Joker. You are celebrating nihilism. You are celebrating the death of society. There's nothing cool about that. They didn't win because they're awesome. They win because like massive $1 million teams are failing right now. That's terrible for everyone in the league. This is why I say keep that energy if you pretend you're about the LCS and the health of the ecosystem and you support NA. You don't. You're just preying on everyone's downfall. Because this was a really hard week to watch of LCS, Monty. I kept watching games like this looks like it should be a banger. How many bangers were there? Where are the bangers? I'm like a fucking British guy waiting for fucking his mash and gravy, Anna. Where are the bangers? Where are the bangers? That's all right, but where's the main course?
The pub kitchen's backed up, Duncan. I think that the teams were underprepared coming into this week overall when it comes to the LCS. I don't think that these records are going to stand. FlyQuest was obviously shockingly bad, and which is
don't worry,
weird
everyone
because
really believes the Vulcan takes bad, it can't work, they're all shit. Like, guess what? You know what? I'll double down. Can I have more of that stock? But you're selling your stock, I'll take it right now. Sc'll see you in 6 weeks.
which is weird because everyone that I've talked to has said that FlyQuest is just dominating scrims.
Right.
The scrim bucks are enormous on
Right.
FlyQuest right now. And that, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Vikla is playing so badly. He is currently number 1 in NA solo queue with a 60% win rate. Like, surely you can't reach that if you have garbage laning, and yet his laning has been garbage within the LCS. So I don't know if this is a nerves issue. You wouldn't think so. He's not a rookie, guys. He played last year on KT, right? He's not unaccustomed to stage games. If it's maybe their comms are changing during the games, that is causing some of the issues that they have. But they've also found a variety of different ways to get beaten, from just different lanes randomly losing to missing skill shots to different players running it down.
The Vikla one where he just died at like whatever it was, level 3 against the Azir. That was that. There's no way he actually thinks that's good. It was just inexplicable. It was a brain fart or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was really bad. It was really bad. I mean, think about Prince and Vulcan getting absolutely clapped in lane by Doublelift in the first game of the season, and then when they tried to make a play topside, they miss skill shots and then die up there. So they die on both sides of the map at the same time. It's awful. It's just awful. And FlyQuest, I think they will turn it around. They should still be the favorite, in my opinion, for the league, despite the fact that Vikla's play has been pretty rocky for some time. This group of players, as long as they can make it into playoffs, which, remember, they only have to make top 8, so it's not that big of a deal, should be able to at least get it together for playoffs. We know what playoff impact looks like. I'm not sure what's going on. I also just have faith in Song as a coach to fix some of these issues, but it was rough to watch this team. Against TSM, they kind of just bled out slowly on the map. But we are seeing a lot of passive play again in LCS. Credit to Cloud9, who continues to be aggressive, too aggressive at times, you have to say. And Team Liquid, they're riding an informed Summit and a surprisingly good Pyosik, which we know can't last, because with Pyosik, him being good never lasts. I've been watching Pyosik for years, guys, and he's streaky. Sometimes he'll go on a tear for half a split where he has some really good games. Before last year, he was oftentimes the best player on his team. His team was garbage, but he was the one who was carrying. And for whatever reason, when Pyosik has a bad team, he plays better. And when he has a better team, he plays worse. That's kind of been the Pyosik way of things. And right now, I just don't believe that Team Liquid's going to be able to persevere when they still have Harry and Yun at key carry positions. Even though mid lane is garbage within the LCS right now, surely this can't last for TL.
No way.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.